Episode 45. This is Grizzly's Growls, the life and times of a minor local celebrity. It's about imagination, and it's about knowledge. It's about celebrating love and life, loyalty and liberty, and sometimes lunacy. And it's about 10 minutes, sometimes a bit more. So let's get started, shall we? Hello again. I figured I'd just, my solution for the problems with episode 42, the Life and Universe and Everything episode, where I actually did record all of the Golden Bird, but some of it fell off. I'm just going to finish the story, okay? Because basically I was pretty well done anyway, and there wasn't that much left. So, where were we? Let's see. Well, let's start a little bit earlier than that. You remember our hero, the third son, had, with the guidance of the wise old fox, carried off the golden horse and the golden bird and the apparently golden princess. And they rode on to a great wood. And then the fox came and said, "Pray kill me, and cut off my head and my feet." But the young man refused to do it. And so the fox said, "I will at any rate give you good counsel. Beware of two things. Ransom no one from the gallows, and sit down by the side of no river." And then away he went. Well, thought the young man, it is no hard matter to keep that advice. So he rode on with the princess, till at last he came to the village where he had left his two brothers, and there he heard a great noise and uproar, and when he asked what was the matter, the people said, "Two men are going to be hanged." And as he came nearer, he saw that the two men were his brothers, who had turned robbers. So he said, "Cannot they in any way be saved?" But the people said no, unless he would bestow all his money upon the rascals and buy their liberty. Then he did not stay to think about the matter, but paid what was asked, and his brothers were given up and went on with him towards their home. And as they came to the wood where the fox first met them, it was so cool and pleasant that the two brothers said, "Let us sit down by the side of the river, and rest a while to eat and drink." So he said yes, and forgot the fox's counsel, and sat down on the side of the river. And, while he suspected nothing, they came behind, and threw him down the bank, and took the princess, the horse, and the bird, and went home to the king their master, and said, "All this have we won by our labor." Then there was great rejoicing made, but the horse would not eat, the bird would not sing, and the princess wept. Well, the youngest son fell to the bottom of the river's bed. Luckily, it was nearly dry, but his bones were almost broken, and the bank was so steep that he could not find a way to get out. Well, then the old fox came once more and scolded him for not following his advice. Otherwise no evil would have befallen him. "Yet," said he, "I cannot leave you here. So lay a hold of my tail, and hold fast." And then he pulled him out of the river and said to him as he got upon the bank, "Your brothers have set watch to kill you, if they find you in the kingdom." So he dressed himself as a poor man, came secretly to the king's court, and was scarcely within the doors when the horse began to eat, and the bird to sing, and the princess left off weeping. Then he went to the king and told him all of his brother's roguery, and they were seized and punished, and he had the princess given to him again, and after the king's death he was heir to the kingdom. A long while after, he went to walk one day in the wood, and the old fox met him, and besought him with tears in his eyes to kill him and cut off his head and feet. And at last he did so, and in a moment the fox was changed into a man, and turned out to be the brother of the princess, who had been lost a great many, many years. And that is the story, the end of the story, finally, of the Golden Bird. Nice story. I have a couple of problems with it. For one thing, they called it the Golden Bird when actually it was originally about the golden apples. You had the tree, the golden apples growing, everything was lovely there. But they find the birds, find the apples are turning up missing. They're counting them every night, so they must be very valuable, right? And the apples start turning up missing, one at a time. Then, of course, the first son goes to sleep, and there's an apple lost there, and the second son goes to sleep, and the apple lost there, and the third son doesn't go to sleep, shoots at the bird, but the bird still flies off with another apple. Now, a couple of problems with that. The bird drops one feather. One feather falls off the bird, golden feather. To take that back, the advisors all tell the king that feather is more valuable than all the treasures in the kingdom. Oh, really? One feather, one golden feather, is more valuable than a few hundred golden apples? Excuse me. I mean, you've seen apples, you've seen feathers. Apples weigh a little bit more than feathers. Maybe gold's usually sold by weight, right? Wouldn't the apples be worth more than the feather? But no, the feather is worth more. Go figure. And, of course, like I say, we have these golden apples. They're wonderfully valuable, right? And what happens? They decide they don't care about the apples anymore. They want the golden bird. So, of course, we go through the whole series with the sons. And the third son gets to the first kingdom, finds the bird, and next to the bird's cage, 3 golden apples. But does he take the apples? No, leaves the golden apples, takes the bird, originally took the golden cage, but he leaves the apples. What's up with that, you know? And another thing, if you think about it, there would actually not be just 3 apples there. I'm figuring, okay, what's the first thing that happens? They discover that every night an apple is being stolen. Not an apple was stolen. Not a couple of apples were stolen. Every night an apple was stolen. So they've seen a pattern. Now, if one apple was stolen originally, there's no pattern there. Second apple was stolen. Still probably not a pattern. You'd probably have at least 3 apples that were stolen by the time they decided that an apple was being stolen every night. So we got 3 apples already gone. Now, first son goes out there, falls asleep, another apple is stolen. That's 4. Second son goes out there, falls asleep. Another apple is stolen. That's 5. Third son goes out to watch, shoots at the bird, but apparently the bird flew off with the apple. It's not entirely clear from the story. So we might have as many as 6 apples missing. 6 golden apples missing. And the bird, of course. And when he gets to the bird, what does he find? The bird, the cages, and 3 apples. What happened to the other 3 apples? You know? First of all, of course, they decided they weren't valuable. That an apple that outweighs a feather, a golden apple, is less valuable than a feather. Okay, now, so there's one problem I have with the story. So, he gets the horse, and gets the princess, and gets the bird, and doesn't take the apples back with him. Okay? Which I think is a little bit odd, because, I mean, he's got the bird. He's willing to steal the bird and steal the horse. And I think he stole the princess, too, if I recall correctly, as it all worked out. But he's now willing to steal 3 apples? I mean, they're golden apples. Why not? But no, he leaves the apples there. And you know what I think happened, actually? Because, see, there were 6 apples. The best I can figure, 5 or 6, probably 6. The second king that had the bird, see, first of all, he was keeping the bird in the golden cage. The golden bird didn't like the golden cage, kept escaping, right? So he was, upset when the bird disappeared all of a sudden in the middle of the night. But then he notices, wait a minute now, the bird escaped, but he came back with a golden apple. I mean, I don't want it to escape, but hey, if he can get me another golden apple, why not? So he puts him back in the golden cage. He escapes again, goes off and steals another apple. Great, so I've got 2 apples now, right? And third apple gets stolen, same deal. This is all when we're getting the pattern set. Gets a 4th apple, gets a 5th apple, and then the bird comes back with that 6th apple, but he's missing a feather. Oh my gosh, I might have lost my golden bird. I better not let that happen again. So the bird apparently doesn't like the golden cage. That's why he puts him in the wooden cage, because the bird doesn't mind the wooden cage, just doesn't like the gold one. Don't know why. So now he can't get any more golden apples, but he's figuring, hey, they're apples. You bury apples in the ground, they grow up into apple trees. You can grow your own golden apples. So I think what he did, he took the first 3 golden apples and he buried them. So he's growing his golden apples. Now, by the time the third son is coming back, he's gotten word that this guy's already growing his own golden apples. So at that point, basically, they're a drug on the market. Everybody's got golden apples. They grow like weeds. So naturally, he didn't need the golden apples, and that's what it was up with that, of course. And there's that. I mean, it's an intensely technical story, of course, as all fairy tales are. The details are what most people think about when they think about fairy tales, and I just wanted to share that with you. Well, let's see. I can't see very well. But that's the end of the story of the golden bird, or in my opinion, the story of the golden apples, because there were 6 of those, only 1 bird. And there was the horse and the princess, too, of course. And then you got to wonder, too, the fox? I mean, hey, okay, it's an old fox, supposed to be very clever, giving these guys all this advice. But think about what happened. As it turns out, he's actually the brother of the princess. And what happens is the princess is rescued from 2 different kingdoms, ends up with the first king, the one that was the king over the 3 sons and the gardener and whatnot, which, I mean, as the fox, he could predict the future. So I'm thinking, I'm kind of suspicious that maybe the fox wanted exactly that to happen, okay? He wanted the third son, for one of the first, because all these things had to happen, so his sister would be rescued, and the horse and the bird and everything would be in the kingdom, right? Because, of course, the third son, ended up marrying the princess and becoming the king, so now he's the brother-in-law of the king, his sister's queen, and they've got a golden horse, golden apples, still got the rest of the apples on the golden tree, of course, and the golden bird. I mentioned the golden bird, didn't I? So really, I think basically it was all a devious plan by the old fox, a.k.a. the brother-in-law, because you know how brother-in-laws get. I mean, I am a brother-in-law, so I know. Anyway, that's pretty much all I can think of to say about that, but I hope you enjoyed the story, now that I finally managed to finish it. And I think next time I'm going to do the next one is a story called Hans in Luck. These are actually from the Brothers Grimm, and actually old German folk tales. I read these back when I was a very, very young boy. I didn't remember these stories, though. And not everybody's heard all of them, so I think that's an interesting process. And I'm going to do, someday, I'm going to go back and fix episode 42 with the full version of the story. And next time around, I think I'll do Hans in Luck as a separate process and hopefully not lose the end of the story. Anyway, we'll talk at you later.
Thank you for listening to Grizzly's Growls, the life and times of a minor local celebrity. If you like what we're doing, create, participate, motivate. Create your own comment at the website, hosted by Liberated Syndication at grizzly.libsyn.com, and your word will be heard. Participate with a call to our comment line at 206-202-1548, or in our Facebook group, or in our Yahoo group, and motivate others to listen. This show is released under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives license.